I want to ask you the question, what is faster, a heavy drone or a lightweight drone? And in this video, that's what we're going to be talking about. Right, g'day you absolute legends, Stu from UAVfutures here, and today, well, one of the most decisive videos, anyway, a video that divided a lot of people in the community was when a little while ago, I should say many moons ago, I made a video saying a lighter isn't always faster or heavier is faster, something like that, and that's what we're going to be tackling today. And I want to put the analogy out there as well. What is faster, a baseball or a ping pong ball? Because this is an ultralight. It is the Brother Hobby Hyperbola, or something like that. It is linked down below. This bad boy is a 5-inch racer. It is coming in at ultralight ping pong weight. It is at 200, I should say, and 47 grams all up. That's with a battery. So if you've got any weight limits or anything like that, this is definitely going to keep you under that. It's a 5-inch ultralight racer. What we're going to do in this video, we're going to break it down, look at the text and the specs, the special motor that it's running, the weight, everything like that, and then we're going to go out to the field or fly it around. We'll give you my impression, show you some DVR. We'll hand it over to the grumpy bugger himself, a GT Grumpy Trev, the living legend, the oldest legend on the show, I should say. We'll see what he thinks, show you his flights, all that sort of stuff, and give you your final thoughts. Should you be spending your money on this? Is ultralight worth it? How do these ultralights feel in the air? All that sort of stuff. Maybe you've really got to get under that weight limit. Put all that info out there so you can decide, is this going to be the right quad for you? So, as a bit of an overview, the first thing I probably need to do, stick it on the scale. So this is without a battery. Let's do that. Let's tear these scales off. Hopefully that's going to be in shot in the roof cam. Sticking this on there. It is coming in at 146 grams. So absolutely ridiculous when you think this is lighter than a lot of people's like 3 inches out there, all that sort of stuff. To get a 5-inch racer that's under 150 grams, absolutely insane. Slap a 100-gram battery on there, so you're probably looking around an 800 and 850, and very, very interesting stuff. And side note, I should say too, if you are after some long range or maybe some long flight times, check out this battery video we did. This thing flew for, I think it was around 15 minutes on a 1300 milliamp hour battery. Very, very impressive stuff. Its amp draw is at like 5 amps in the hover, maybe 6 amps, 7 amps for some casual cruising. Sticking with the OV, it's not going to be carrying a GoPro or anything like that. It is just designed to be taken out to the track, and mainly, I don't think it's going to be extremely robust or anything like that. We'll talk about that in the design, but it is mainly designed really to stick under that weight limit. If you are dead set on having your heart on a 5-inch and wanting to stay under 250 grams, this is one of the few options on the market today. Now, if we start at the outside in, let's move on. Look at some of the components on how they actually managed to do that. You can see it has a unibody frame with some big cutouts in there. It's got a little bit of flex, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing in this, because look, we've got to take the weight out somewhere. We've just got some little, I think they're T-motor props on the outside, or some gem fans, I should say, 51, 25s. Underneath that, this is one of the stars of the show. So I'll see if I can put a picture on the screen as well. These motors right here, these are 2004s, 3,150 kV. So a pretty specific motor right there. Very, very lightweight. So you can see it's definitely a smaller size. The stator is a lot smaller. Moving towards the middle, we kind of have some all-in-one boards, basically. 35 amp, ESC right there, Heli, Rock and Betaflight, all that fairly standard stuff. It's got an F4 flight controller. What you just need to know though, if you're a beginner, does that perform okay? Yeah, it does. It's relatively industry standard and what we get in our drones today. On top of that, of course, you've just got our little VTX. I love the little canopy that they've got on the top. Nice little 5.8 circular polarized antenna. It's got some antenna mounts, which I must say I do like, because not enough frames come with some little antenna mounts in there. And I think it's a baby Cadex, or in the front, it is a Cadex FPV cam. I'll put some links and descriptions and stuff. The description's down below, but I'll put some links on the screen and show you some images. And then towards the back, what I actually do like, we've got an XT60, which I think is important. I think even though they're trying to save weight, having an XT60 there is going to make a difference for that power delivery for these motors. Put more amps through there. We've got our capacitor on there as well. And other than that, it is just fairly standard stuff. I'm surprised actually that they've got if they're trying to shave every single gram off, I probably would only have 2 motor screws. You might lose an extra gram there or something. Now, the design of the thing, I've got to say, I do really like it. Like it's got nice antenna placements. Its motors are designed specifically for this purpose of staying lightweight. Everything, it's I like to say you can't have a drone that has everything. You're not going to get a lightweight GoPro hauler that can be fantastic at races and does freestyle. There's no one drone to rule them all. You really need to know what do you want to focus on. This is focused on being as light as possible, a 5-inch, and that's exactly what this is. And I think, yeah, they're kind of doing a pretty good job. If you look at the design features, the cutouts, where they've reduced their weight, all that sort of stuff, A+. Yeah, Brother Hobby, well done. As far as the quality goes, look, Brother Hobby, they've been in the game for a long time. They make good stuff. I'd say 8 out of 10 as far as the soldering joints and all that sort of stuff goes. It's relatively standard, nice drone, it's reliable. We've put up quite a few packs through there. We've had quite a lot of flight time on here. The pros and the cons. We're going to get the pros out of the way. It's really lightweight. And that's about where for my flying style that it goes. Other than that, the cons. Now these are some things that I don't like. I really don't like its flight style. And I know some other pilots out there are going to get very, very irate. Stuart, you got to have the lightest drone possible, blah, blah, blah. You don't know how to fly. You suck. Yeah, all right, I hear you. But let me put this question to you. When I mentioned at the start, what flies better, what go through the air better, a cricket ball or a baseball or a ping pong ball? This feels like the ping pong ball. Yes, it is very ping pong, back and forth, very point and shoot, but that doesn't mean it's a fun, pleasant flight experience. It's very just jarring on the sticks and that sort of stuff, and that is one of the things why I find it actually quite difficult to fly an ultralight drone. It just doesn't suit my flying style. I find it very difficult to control. It's just, yeah, a bit like a ping pong ball would be the best way to describe it, rather than a baseball or a cricket ball. If you're really trying to push around a course, I'd much prefer to have a bit of momentum, a little bit mass to help me. I guess maybe I've just got lacking pilot skills. I don't know. Some other things, of course, look, it's not going to carry a GoPro or anything like that, but that's not really a pro or a con because it's not designed for that. It's just the only thing I don't like is how it feels in the air, and when it comes to drones, that is fairly important. So, what we're going to do now, let's go out to the field, let's fly this thing around and show you exactly how the Brother Hobby Hyperbola goes. You can make your mind up, check out the DVR, tell me what you think, and yeah, just all in all, I'd love to know, is this the sort of drone that you guys are interested in? If you were coming into the hobby, who is this made for? Are you an ultralight racer that it has to be under the 250 gram mark limit? Is this the sort of thing that you're going to buy, or would you be better suited to a 3-inch? I'd love to know who's buying this and what is the main reason. Anyway, let's go do it, have some fun with the boys in the field in 3, 2, 1. Radio out here in the field with this bad boy. This is for you light people out there, you racers under 250 grams, the Hyperbola, I think that's how you pronounce it, from Brother Hobby. It's getting caught up in my goggles. We're going to rip it around, show you some DVR as well as some pretty crazy flight times, tell you what to think about it, and we've got the grumpy old bugger himself in the background. We've got Grumpy Trev, so we'll see what he thinks. So let's do it, show you some DVR, and hand it over to the old man graveyard over there. Let's do it. I just made that nickname up, so what should we call GT? Put it in the comments. Righty, here we go. We're just going to jump straight in, and you can see I want to point out too, the flight times you actually get on these things are ridiculously decent. Like, we've had some 16-minute flight times. You can see already we've been in the air for a bit over 4 minutes and cruising around right here. I want to mention as well, look at those amps, 4 or 5 amps for a while, just while we're hovering around. So between 4, 5 or 6 amps, it is extremely efficient. I can understand maybe going long range. If you want to use a quad like this, then you definitely are going to get some advantages. For those racers out there, or those other people trying to do freestyle though, for those everyday park pilots, I don't know if this is going to be the choice that I want to choose when I go out for flying. Why? Because it is actually quite difficult to control. Like, every time you touch the sticks, I should say, in the slightest, it just bounces back and forth. And that ping pong ball analogy really does hold true for this. I don't find this one an enjoyable flight experience. It does have plenty of pop, I guess, because it is so light. You can see just how high we are after a few little blips of the throttle. The camera looks great. We were going around getting some decent range with it as well. I like the canopy. I like so much about this drone, but unfortunately, the part that matters and the part that I don't like is just how it feels. Like, if I had to point and shoot this thing through some gaps, through some tight trees, some track racing repeatedly, loop after loop, track after track, lap after lap, I don't think that I would be increasing my lap times, and if anything, I actually think it is a disadvantage. It is not forgiving, and I don't think it's suited for 95% of the pilots out there. Look, and I know a lot of other people are going to be getting upset. Stuart, you don't know what you're talking about, all that sort of stuff. I love my Ultra. That is fantastic. I'm more than happy for you. I'm just saying that be careful of these. Don't think that being ultralight is the be-all and end-all, and just have a look at who's saying that. If someone's trying to sell you an ultralight frame, then of course they're going to tell you it's good. But other than that, Look, we're going to hand it over to GT as well so you can hear what he thinks. But this wouldn't be my choice for racing. However, if you want to stick under the weight limit, then that's, you know, obviously you don't have many choices. Or, see, look at those amps. Fantastic right there. Or if you're going to be doing some long range, then yes, this has some options as well. But you can't carry a GoPro to capture that footage, which kind of sucks. Anyway, let's hand it over to GT, see what he thinks. Action! Let's go, GT. How you been anyway?
Really good.
Get out. Come on, mate. Stop trolling.
Oh, it's hard to get back into it, isn't it? Like,
it's been a while.
Locked down for
6 months.
Oh yeah, 6 months. And actually, I didn't know Stu when I seen him today. He actually had a name tag on, so it made it a bit easier.
You know what?
For me.
My daughter actually said when Trevor came in, she couldn't remember who Trevor was. And what was the first thing she said to you, Trevor? Do you remember?
Oh yeah, she said, "Where's your hair?"
Yeah, she said, "Where's your hair gone?" So anyway, right, this is the Hyperbola review. It's from Brother Hobby. It's about $280 US, so it's not the cheapest thing out there.
Pretty expensive.
Yep, you're getting the bleeps in there already. What do you think about the weight? How does it feel in your hand?
It's so light, very, very light. I mean, everything is like ultra slim, unlike us, Stu. It's.
Give it a flex though. What do you think about the flex? No, no.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's surprisingly flexy.
Yeah. How do you reckon that'll hold up in a crash?
Bit like the missus.
Oh God.
Well, don't know. Well, it'll probably just bounce.
All right.
I know we can't really test it for a crash because Carl's not here.
we can put it through its paces. If it crashes, it crashes.
We love you, Carl. I haven't seen you for a while, mate.
Yep. All right. So, any other fun thoughts before we take it for a rip? Got some little motors on here as well.
They look
smaller.
really tiny. How big are they?
I think they're only 20s.
Yeah. 21.
2004s.
Yeah.
So not even, usually motors like 22 or something, a bit of a shorter stator on there.
Everything's small, isn't it?
Very lightweight props.
Yeah, the tops are. Well, let's give it a go. Let's.
All right. Nice. Let's do it.
I don't know if I can fly. How do you do that?
You've forgotten, you old bugger. All right, let's do it. We are ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, pretty picture. Camera looks okay. It's. Oh, shit.
I think you're good. You're just getting snagged on the grass there a little bit.
I haven't even touched the throttle.
Yeah, well, it's hovering. It hovers at about 5 amps, mate. GT, let's see if you can get it up this time.
Yeah,
that's all the jokes we got.
I won't go there.
Let's go. You're
there
away.
We go.
Give it throttle. There you go.
Oh,
you're in the air.
Jeez, it even feels light. Ooh, wow. He disappeared. Oh.
Now you can see your amps down the bottom of the screen as well.
Yeah, 10 amps.
Yep, 8 amps, just cruising. 5 amps.
5, yeah. Give it a bit of a punch.
Okay, it does suck them when you.
Does it ever? You want a good battery with this thing. Gee, it is. Oh, nippy.
How's it feel? For a super light quad, does it feel different to a normal,
more
robust quad? How would you describe it?
You need really light fingers to fly this thing. It's really, what's the word? Really responsive.
Okay.
Like more so than much.
Do you find it easier or more difficult to fly with this with the way you're flying?
Yeah, it's a bit harder for me to fly. Like it's, you just got to touch your pitch. I've got to tell you, this is the most difficult quad I've flown for a while.
Why do you say that?
It's just not how I like to fly.
All right, Trevor, I'm back. I've changed the SD card over, mate, after getting some SD card errors, so sorry about that editing. Yep.
Well, I don't know where we're up to, but this thing is, look, it's fast. It seems to go okay, but to me, it really needs some tuning because it's not how I like to fly. It's just very, very touchy.
Do you think that's the tune, or do you think that's the lightweight?
Well, it could be a bit of both. It's only a little bit of a breeze here, but it is affecting it. Like I'm forever correcting my roll here because it's just getting pushed around a bit. So
you're right. This is one thing I've always said, and we got a lot of flack for this. One time I made a video, and it was like, the heavier quads, you can actually get faster lap times with them. I think I titled it Heavier is Faster. But anyway, these really light quads, I would actually be slow around a track because I just don't have the finesse and the skills. I find it really hard to fly these ultralight quads. And there is something to be said about, a totally different flying style. Do you want me to get your arm switch?
Yeah, kill it. Oh, that's right.
Oh, you got it.
Look.
I'll go get it. Hold your thought.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
Look,
final thoughts, and that was on 1,000 milliamp hours, which is different. Normally we're on a
Yeah.
1,300 on a bigger quad.
Oh,
Under 250 grams.
I thought that way would make it a bit easier to fly, but look, it might be me. I mean, it's I just find it. This is the most difficult quad I've had to fly.
Would you find it easier saying, if you had to do a race and you had this or something heavy like a chameleon, what would you feel more confident in flying?
Chameleon anytime.
Okay.
Look, it's probably got on a windy day, this is going to be hopeless because it's just getting blown around everywhere. You really felt that when I was flying it.
Yep.
So, to me, it was really twitchy. You need a lot of finesse to fly this, which not my skill set, but it did fly okay. It had plenty of poke, I must say.
What did you think about the 5 amps kind of hover?
Yeah.
Okay, not much.
No, not much at all. It's
too easy.
Like it's a little bit breezy here, and I think on a windy day, I mean, you'd be pushing to fly that around a track as well.
All right, no worries, too easy. So performance out of 10, the GT performance score?
I'll give it a 7.
Okay, a value for money, $280 US.
Probably the same.
Okay, 7
Yeah.
and 7. We got a 14 out of 20. Hyperbola, something like that from iFlight. You know what? I kind of feel the same way. For me, it's not my cup of tea. It's not my flying style. I'm not saying that there's other people out there who don't like. I know there's a whole audience of people who I want the lightest quad there is, but when it comes to a 5-inch ultra light, it's just, I find it difficult to get fast around the track. It is good though for the people trying to get under the 250 gram weight limit and they want to experience a 5-inch.
Yeah, I think for someone new to get it.
Yeah. Okay, and you're saying no for new people.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, nice. Thanks, Trev. Rightio, there it is. There's my review of the Brother Hobby Hyperbola. A pretty cool drone with some cool design elements, and it is coming in at under 250 grams. I like everything that this drone is doing. I like the weight, I like the design philosophy behind it, and it does have a little bit of pep in its step. For me though, the only thing I don't like is the price is relatively average as well. I think it's like $280 US, so that's getting up there quite a bit. I understand it's a specialized drone, but I do feel like there's a bit of a markup. But the one thing that this table's noisy. The one thing that just bugs me, it's flight style, it's flight characteristics. It's not really the way that I want to fly, and I don't particularly enjoy flying. I don't find it easy to fly. It's definitely not going to be beginner friendly. And I feel like because of that, I will be able to get around the track a fair bit faster with a slightly heavier drone that has more momentum, more mass, rather than this ping pong style of flying, which is just very, very difficult. That I would say 95, the flying community would probably feel the same way. Maybe you top tier, like what some BMS Thomas or some amazing racers out there, you want the lightest possible drone that you can get. But for most pilots, it just feels very, very tricky for me to fly anyway. Other than that, look, that's it on the bench. I'm sure some people are going to get triggered and say, Stuart, you don't know anything. I fly a ping pong ultralight. It's -6 grams. Well done for you, mate. I'm proud of you. Other than that, subscribe for more FPV or related content. Go check out some other videos we've got right here. We should have some live streams coming out. I hope you have a fantastic day. Why? Because look, whether you agree with me or not, every single one of you guys is awesome. Thank you for being part of this amazing community. I'm proud to be here sharing the skies with you guys. You deserve to have a fantastic day. So please go ahead and do that. Subscribe for more FPV related content. And as always, happy flying.